Hi everyone, welcome to Writer's Corner. I'm Rudrani and I'm from Talesley Creative Writers. And once again, I'll be reading another chapter from this book. Lessons from the Ramayana by Sri Chahal Sachinamurthy. And in today's video, I'll be reading Lesson 9 and I hope you like it. So, here we go. Lesson 9. Do not be a coward. I would rather have violence than cowardice masquerading as non-violence. By Gandhiji. Ravana calls Vibhishana a coward. Vibhishana tries to wean Ravana from his wickedness by using all his powers of persuasion and sattvic or non-violent methods of appeal to reason and sense of righteousness. Ravana, in his reckless arrogance, feels that he is afraid of war and he has not enough courage to stand before the enemy and fight. That is how Ravana misunderstands Vibhishana's love for goodness and righteousness. Vibhishana is not a coward. He appears to be a coward to the tyrant because he does not like war with Rama. All good people who fear to do wrong and advise friends not to resort to violent wickedness will be unjustly charged with cowardice. As a matter of fact, Vibhishana is very brave. He opposes the tyrant and tells him to his face that what he does is wrong. It requires courage, moral courage, to point out the lapses in a man in power. This non-violent opposition is not possible without courage. Every non-violent struggle is backed by moral courage. As that moral courage is misunderstood as cowardice to take part in war, Vibhishana thinks that violence is far better to punish his wicked brother than his docile and weak non-violent appeal. So he joins Rama and takes part in the war on the side of Rama. He displays wonderful physical courage while fighting with the Rakshasas. So his earlier non-violent appeal to his brother is not a masquerade of his cowardice. It is only moral courage that points out wickedness in the tyrant. Parashurama meets Rama on his way to Ayodhya after his marriage. Parashurama is angry with Rama for the simple reason that Rama broke the massive bow of Lord Shiva. He thinks it is an act of insult to Lord Shiva, so he is prepared to fight with Rama to avenge that insult. Parashurama is a Brahmin by birth and he is a warrior by choice. He has performed penance and tapas and he has Brahminical glory. Yet he wields bow and arrow and he is out to destroy enemies. Everyone is terribly afraid of him. Rama is calm and unruffled. Parashurama feels insulted as Rama does not tremble at his sight. He roars, "Are you not afraid of me?" Rama prostrates himself before Parashurama and says, "O learned Brahmin, I respect Brahmins for their tapas and non-violent qualities. They are sattvic or gentle by nature and devoted to virtue and the learning of Vedas. So I hold them in reverence and stand in awe before them with folded hands. But you appear to be strange with your bow and arrows, and this anger is unbecoming of you." Parashurama bursts into anger and says, "You regard me as a Brahmin and slight me as a weakling. You do not know that I am a great warrior, scourge of Kshatriyas like you. You must tremble before me as I am of superior might as a warrior wielding weapons." Now Rama exhibits a little anger and says, "Till now I have been respectful to you because you are a Brahmin. If you are a warrior, I slight you and I can put you to flight in no time. It is my principle not to fight with a Brahmin, but I am ready to fight with you as you wish it. I am not a coward to refrain from fighting, if you so wish." He takes the bow from Parashurama and subdues him. Parashurama understands that Rama is God incarnate. He feels chastened and leaves the place after eulogizing Rama. This incident shows us that persons intoxicated with pride of strength mistake the sattvic or non-violent appeal for justice as cowardice, and under such circumstances, moral courage backing non-violent appeal must turn into physical courage to answer with weapons. We often see on the screen or in novels how evil company uses the word coward to seduce an innocent person. Just a handful of reprobates invite a novice in college or office and try to seduce him into smoking, drinking, or gambling. Naturally, the novice innocently says, "If my father were to know of my association with you, he will fret and fume. If mother were to know it, she will go into hysterical fits. If my brothers and sisters were to know it, they will regard me as a blot on the family. And if my wife were to know it, she would die of a broken heart." This flow of words only evokes mocking of the seasoned rogues, and they just cut him to the quick by calling him a coward who is afraid of father, mother, and so on. Just to escape the charge of cowardice and to prove his courage, he succumbs to the vices. In fact, a clever person ought to say, "Yes, I am a coward. I tremble at the sight of my parents. I cannot cross their wishes, and I cannot push off the shackles of principles." Cowardice is the safest and surest safeguard against all temptations. Cowardice is a virtue, as it enables one to keep oneself aloof from evil company. A young fellow need not be ashamed if anyone calls him a coward for obeying his parents or keeping to virtue. He should have the moral courage to pull himself to full dignity and say, "Yes, I am a coward. I cannot bite the bait only to be lost to my dear ones." Xenophanes beautifully says, "I confess myself the greatest coward in the world, for I dare not do an ill thing." Want of cowardice is sometimes equated to madness. Where angels fear to tread, fools rush in. Dash is desirable, but it should not be dash of Don Quixote. Cowardice befits you when you are provoked by fools to jump into the sea or dash against mountains. In the war, Ravana has a wonderful experience of Rama's bravery and chivalry. Ravana becomes unconscious, being hit by Rama's arrows. Then the charioteer of Ravana drives home the chariot along with Ravana, thus creating an impression that he is fleeing from the battlefield. On regaining consciousness, Ravana cuts up rough with the charioteer. He says, "You fool, you have done me a great disservice by removing me from the battlefield. People will call me a coward. Death is preferable to being called a coward. Now quickly take me to the battlefield." The charioteer most humbly bows and says to Ravana, "My lord, it is the duty of the charioteer to rise to the occasion in times of imminent danger and cleverly drive the chariot to safety." Similarly, the hero has to look to the safety of the charioteer by warding off the enemy's arrows. "I pray that you may be pleased to forgive me." In this context, I venture to put before you a very rare gesture of chivalry on the part of Rama. He would not strike you when you were unconscious. With a graceful smile on his lips, he has allowed me to drive back the chariot. It is only bravery that shows mercy on the enemy who is weaponless and off his guard. It is only a coward in the warrior that kills an enemy who is completely helpless and is left to his mercy. These words chasten Ravana a little, But soon his Rakshasa nature asserts itself and he rushes to the battlefield. In a sense, Ravana and all his Rakshasa warriors are cowards. John Gray beautifully says, "Cowards are cruel, but the brave love mercy and delight to save." In the present-day world, we come across a number of dastardly murders and assassinations and mindless cruelty of terrorists and extremists. The remedy to this evil is to develop moral courage as opposed to cowardice, which makes men kill the innocent and harmless fellow human beings. Bullies, tyrants, terrorists, murderers, and so on are, to quote the words of Shelley, cowards to the strong and tyrants to the weak. Brave heroes like Rama are saviours of mankind from the cruelty of these cowards. Sita exerts her moral courage and charges Ravana with cowardice. She says to him thus, "You are a coward. You have not enough courage to face the two brave princes. In their absence, like a cur, you have entered the ashram. You are afraid even to cross the line marked by Lakshmana. How can you boast that you are a brave hero? The moment you set your mind on sin, your days are numbered. Mend your ways before it is too late." To be weak is miserable. To be a coward is more miserable still. And it is the worst of misery to see the world's great anguish and wrong and dare not speak. The good and the law-abiding and all other sane forces must combine to curb the mad fury of the misguided. The Ramayana tells us to develop moral courage and draw upon spiritual energy. Fanaticism, terrorism, and rowdyism, which pester our present-day society, raise their ugly head only as long as the good do not summon up enough courage to oppose them and wipe them off. That courage is not merely physical courage. It is also moral courage, which has its roots in man's invisible spirit and faith in the goodness of humanity and mercy of God. In conclusion to this lesson, the following fine words of Shakespeare are quotable. "Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once." The end. That was the end of lesson 9. And thank you for watching. Please click like, share and subscribe. And I hope to see you in my next video when I'll be reading lesson 10. Thank you. Bye.